this is Rick Kaselj from exercisesforinjuries.com. In this video, I wanted to go through the best bang for your buck exercise. Before I get to the exercise, if you don't know who I am, my name is Rick Kaselj. I help people overcome injury and pain so they can get back to a happy, pain-free life. Now I'm going to get Alex to demonstrate the exercise that ends up being excellent bang for your buck. And Alex, I'll just get you to go through the whole exercise and then we'll come back and we'll kind of break down the exercise. Perfect. So some people end up calling that a Hindu push-up. So it ends up being an excellent exercise and great bang for your buck. And I'll kind of explain why as we kind of go through different components of it. So Alex is starting in a standing position. She's going to go into kind of like a downward dog position. So she's bending at the hips. Good, working on hamstring flexibility. Now she's bending through the hips and keeping everything in a good straight line. So this ends up being excellent on working on hip mobility and range of motion, and then also we're working on the core. We're also working on shoulder mobility, and you're also working on the stability in the shoulder. So just getting in this position ends up being excellent. And now I'll get her to kind of go through the end position. Good. And coming back up. And being at this end position ends up being excellent. This back extension part ends up being healthy and good for the back. So you can pop out of that position. So going from that downward dog into the end position, what we end up doing with the hands digging into the mat, what we end up doing is activating the lats and the pecs and those shoulder blade muscles. So we end up activating all the muscles that end up stabilizing the shoulder. So it ends up being an excellent exercise to build stability in the shoulder. And then when we end up going through that downward movement and upward movement, we end up challenging that shoulder at different ranges of motion, which is what we want. And also with that downward movement, we end up challenging the core area. And then when we get back to the end where we're arching back through, going through that arching movement ends up being excellent for the back because it ends up being great for about 95% of the population because we end up doing a lot of sitting and bending forward. So what we're almost doing is reversing that movement that we tend to predominate and live in. So I'll get Alex to kind of go through it one more time. So you're bending through the hip. You do what you can when it comes to bending through the hip. If you have to bend through the knee, that's perfectly fine. Just getting in this starting position ends up being excellent. And then you can end up moving into that arch position. Good, coming down and then arching through and then back up. Excellent. Perfect. And then back to the downward dog position, walking back and then standing back up. So there you go. End up giving that exercise a go. You can end up breaking it down and just doing the positions of the exercise that you can. So the getting into the starting position, moving into the kind of that scoop position, and then moving into that end position, and then back to that downward dog position. So give that exercise a go. If you end up going through like 5 or 10 repetitions, you really feel it throughout your whole body. So this is Rick Kaselj from exercisesforinjuries.com. Make sure to swing by exercisesforinjuries.com. Enter in your injury or pain. There's a good chance of an article, video, or an interview that'll help you overcome your injury or pain. Secondly, if you're watching this on YouTube, head up above, hit subscribe. What that'll do is every couple days you'll get a video like this where I talk about overcoming injury and pain. Now thirdly, head down below, hit like, and leave me a question or comment. Now, if you're looking for a program that gives you like challenging core and abdominal exercises, take a look at Invincible Core. So this is Rick Kaselj from exercisesforinjuries.com saying take care and bye-bye.